Hey, what's up, Daily Dosers? My name's Austin Payne. I'm one of the high school pastors on the Vista campus, and today we tackle one of those verses in my Bible that has a little black question mark next to it. And my Bible's full of these moments where I just go, I read the words and I understand what it's saying, but how? How can a follower of Jesus come through with that? How can a believer in the God of the Bible actually accomplish that? And the words, be still and know that I am God. I remember seeing them cross-stitched in my grandma's house. I went to a Christian school growing up, kind of K through 12, and I remember seeing them on a poster with a couple of doves, right, going, be still and know that he is God. But in the context of chapter 46, I think this verse is much less of a tranquil call to sit on a hillside by myself and just be still and just know that there is a God. Right? In the beginning of chapter 46, it says that God is a refuge and a strength in ever-present trouble. Right? This verse is found in the context of trouble, of war, of chaos. Right? The surrounding verses talk about the burning of shields and the breaking of bows and spears. And I think the call to be still and know that he is God, it's timely for a group of people going, how is that possible to be still and experience him when I feel like there's chaos all around me? And in Exodus chapter 17, near the end, I love how Moses is reminded of that he needs to be reminded of truth by the people around him. There's two moments in Moses' life where people come into his life and they step into his life and go, you can't do this by yourself. And this is one of them as he faces the Amalekite army. The staff of Moses was kind of this representation of God's presence with him, from the burning of the bush, from the burning bush to the plagues in Israel, to leading the nation of Israel out of Egypt, and as he presses it into the Red Sea and it splits, it was God's presence with him. And he climbs up on a mountainside, and Moses says, as long as my staff is raised into the air, I know God will be with me. I know he goes before me. I know that the army will win because God's with us. And as he puts his staff up in the air, as you can imagine, during the duration of a battle, his arm gets tired. And I love this moment in scripture in verse 12 of chapter 17. It says, Moses' hands grew tired. They took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur, these two guys, these two friends that were with him in this moment, they come on either side of him, and one on one side, one on the other side, so that his hands remained steady until sunset. Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. And I love this picture that Moses knew what he had to do. He knew that God was with him. He knew that his staff represented God's presence, and yet he still grows weary and he grows tired. And he finds this moment where he goes, I can't do this alone. And friends, I don't think we were ever designed to simply be still and know that God is God by ourselves. It was never meant to be done fully alone. And now I think silence and solitude is one of the most important things that we can take on. But the Christian walk was never meant to be done alone. And I wonder today if we can challenge ourselves with who are the people in our life that would come alongside of us, one on each side, and go, hey, let me remind you of who God is. Let me remind you of his past faithfulness. Let me remind you of the truth of Scripture. Let me send you this sermon or pray for you in this way, or come alongside you and just be the iron sharpens iron relationship that you need. And I wonder if it's maybe a mentor of ours or a member of our life group or a life group leader. Who is it that we need to be in touch with, that we need to be in contact this week to go, will you be my proverbial Aaron and Hur on either side of me to slide the stone underneath me and go, I need to be still and remember who God is, but I'm having a really hard time doing that right now. And I think for me, a lot of the times I might even know the right thing to do moving forward, but I'm just tired. I'm fatigued. I'm failing to see who God is in the midst of this moment. And I need somebody to remind me of who God is, to remind me of the truth of Scripture, to come alongside me and go, hey, be still and know who God is in this way. Experience him in this way. Remember how you experienced him in the past. Look into the rearview mirror of life. And my challenge for us today, Daily Dosers, is who are the people, who are the one another's in life that we need to reach out to and go, I was never meant to do this alone. Thanks, Daily Dosers. We'll see you tomorrow.